keep some of his representatives out of the press. In a recent podcast, NYU journalism professor Jay Rosen said that reporters ought to stop interviewing Kellyanne Conway on the grounds that she lies too much and actively lowers political understanding for viewers. John Halterwanger, who's senior politics writer for Elite Daily, defended the idea of banning Conway, writing this on Twitter: "I agree 100%. Until they stop lying, shun them." He joins us now. John, thanks a lot for coming on.
For having me, Tucker.
So I feel for you in some sense. I interview people I disagree with all the time. I'm doing it right now. But I must say, in a lot of years of doing it, it has never occurred to me to shun them or to punish them by not talking to them. That doesn't seem like it would serve our viewers or your readers. Why would you do that?
Well, first of all, let me just say that my opinion does not represent the official position of my company. This is my personal opinion. But I think...
You've been talking to lawyers. I love that.
I think when we're talking about having constructive political discourse and disagreeing with somebody, there needs to be a basic agreement on the facts. And she is spreading blatant lies. She's spreading what she called alternative facts. So how can we actually have a conversation and disagree in a healthy way if we're not going to agree on the basic facts, like the sky is blue, for example?
Well, I mean, we don't agree on the basic facts about a lot of different things. I mean, that's part of what discourse is. It's arguing over what the facts are. And, of course, you're not going to reach a place of agreement if you don't talk at all. And that's what you're suggesting. No talking, shunning, as you put it, which seems to me like a religious concept, not really a journalism idea.
Well, this administration is obviously desperate for attention, given they spent the entire weekend focusing on the petty issue of inauguration attendance. And I think they dominate headlines by continuing this charade of spreading alternative facts. And behind the scenes, they do other things that arguably should be reported on, but don't get enough attention. I don't know if this is part of a larger sinister plan from the Trump administration, but it is a huge distraction. And it is quite embarrassing that the first weekend of the 45th president was spent talking about how many people came to his inauguration. Yeah. And his press secretary came out, and his first appearance behind the podium, he lied to the American people about a very petty issue. He lied about the number of people that attended. He lied about the number of people that watched. And in his first official press conference, continued that lie. And meanwhile, we have Kellyanne Conway saying that, oh, those are just alternative facts. And on top of that, we have Donald Trump saying that millions of illegals voted, and that's why he lost the popular vote. And in the process, he is undermining the democratic process in America, and he is making it less likely for people to vote in the future. Because the problem in America is not mass voter fraud.
May I just stop there? You're throwing out a lot of different stuff, a lot of different strands here coming at me, and some of which I agree with. I think a lot of these things are frivolous issues, and there's probably a lot of people's fault we're talking about them in the first couple of days, and the Trump people for sure are part of that. But I want to get back to why we're talking, which is your suggestion that Kellyanne Conway is somehow so uniquely reprehensible and immoral that we should, and I'm quoting you now, shun her. Again, how does it serve your readers, even though you're not officially speaking for whatever publication you write for, how does it serve them if you don't even talk to them?
I'm not sure if I ever called her uniquely reprehensible or immoral, but...
Well, then why would you shun her? I'm still, this is a sincere question. Like, I get why you disagree, that's fine.
Sure.
But why are you saying they're just beyond the pale? We're not going to talk to them. Isn't our job as journalists to talk to people, even if we disagree?
I think there's a case to be made for that. Obviously, we need to, the other case to be made for that is journalists need to do a better job of holding her accountable. But when they insist on spreading blatant falsities, it's hard to hold them accountable. When you say, no, that's not true, and they're just going to say, no, that's just an alternative fact, it's a little hard to do your job. And we're not on an even keel here. So the conversation...
so I guess a couple things come to mind. One, I agree with you. It's really frustrating when public officials lie, and a lot of them do, a lot, and it's upsetting. My first question, though, is you seem to be exhibiting moral outrage, which is weird in a journalist. I mean, your job is to sort of watch things and coolly assess them and then report on them. But you seem personally offended, and as do a lot of people your age who are now in journalism, it seems like they're mad. Why is that? Is that specific to, like, being in your 20s, or why the moral outrage?
Donald Trump did say he's at war with the media. Are you not a bit offended that he's at war with your profession?
Well, I'm offended with some things that Trump says, for sure. But I'm not, I guess I don't see it as a religious contest between the virtuous, me, and the sinful, them, and therefore I need to shun them. And you seem to see it that way. And in your defense, a lot of people your age seem to see that the world that way too. Why is that? Why the moral outrage? Why the screechy moralizing?
Well, I think that we're starting to enter a post-fact world, and I think that's a very dangerous world to be entering. I think this is why a lot of people don't vote in America. I think that's why we have mass voter apathy, not mass voter fraud. I think because they think that the political system doesn't work and doesn't serve them. And why should they participate in a system in which politicians continue to lie to their face? That's why we have 55% voter turnout.
Or in which journalists say, I don't even want to hear you. I don't want to hear what you have to say. So look, I mean, I'm going to ask you the obvious. Why should I sit there and listen to lies? Why should I sit there and listen to lies? Well, I don't know, because it's you can refute them. You can show that they're lies. I mean, that's your job. But let me ask you the obvious question. I'm sure all of viewers are wondering this question, which is, okay, I think there have been some falsehoods coming out of the Trump administration. I'm not here to defend them. But it's not unique to them. So we just had 8 years of an administration where they said things like, I don't know, if you want to keep your plan, you can keep your plan. Not true. I've got a whole list of untrue things that the president said, and not about dumb things like attendance at a rally, but things about, I don't know, the steel industry, or Benghazi, or the war in Iraq. I mean, like real things. And like all presidents, he lied. But you don't seem in the mood to shun him or his spokesman. Why is that?
He's no longer president.
Okay, but he was last week.
Sure, okay.
Like, what?
He did a lot of things wrong. For example, if we're going to talk about the issue of immigration, sure, a lot of young people are very concerned about Trump's proposals on immigration. But perhaps we should also mention that President Obama deported more people than any other president. Sure, that's what I'm talking about, a balanced conversation.
Okay, but you're saying that lying is the red line for you. And I'm not disagreeing with that. It's very it's annoying when people lie, for sure. I'm just saying that the last administration lied a lot, too, and your outrage seems selective. Will you acknowledge that? Like, you're obviously more in tune with their politics, but can you be objective enough to acknowledge that maybe if you're going to be mad about lying in one case, you should be mad about it in all cases? No?
I do agree we should be mad about it in all cases, but I think the amount of lying that's occurring within the Trump administration is unprecedented. And this man is not even willing to admit that he lost a popular vote. And in the process...
How old are you? What do you know? How do you know what the precedent is?
I have a degree in history. I can read up on my facts.
Okay.
My age has nothing to do with my knowledge of U.S. politics or history.
I'm just saying, like, there's an overheated quality to your critique, okay? It's been 4 days. I agree. Some of the stuff they said is silly. But I don't know, unprecedented? It's a little early to say unprecedented. But let me ask you about this, because I can't respond. I can't resist. So you said Trump signed this order to declare the day of the inauguration a national day of patriotic devotion. And you wrote, quote, whatever. You wrote this. It's actually kinda, K-I-N-D-A, scary clash, has parallels to Nazi Germany and North Korea. I mean, do you really think that's the same as what happened in Nazi Germany or what is currently happening in North Korea? That seems more partisan than anything Kellyanne Conway has ever said.
Okay, well...
I mean, explain that. What does that mean? You made the claim. What did you mean by that?
In a lot of North Korean propaganda and in the rhetoric of the last three leaders, patriotic devotion is a phrase that is routinely used in a sense that you will be punished if you do not... Yes, it is.
Do you read Korean?
Do I read Korean? No, I don't read Korean.
Oh, okay. But you think that phrase is used routinely in North Korean propaganda?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a Guardian article that came out today about it, if you'd like to Google it.
Okay. So they use the same phrase, so it's the same as North Korea?
Excuse me?
They use the same phrase, so it's the same as North Korea?
I mean, do you have evidence? It's not the same as North Korea, but there are parallels, and there are clear parallels.
Okay.
In the nationalistic rhetoric of the Trump administration, and well, it's no coincidence that the North Korean regime and the North Korean state paper, they endorsed Donald Trump.
Oh, I'm beginning to see how it all ties together. Okay. They use